Welcome everyone to another top 10. I'm Old School Gamer 1971. Millie, Lloyd, everyone, hope you're all having a great day. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, please like, comment and share. Check out my channel and subscribe, as it helps the channel grow and puts a big old smile on this old face. Today's top 10 is First Person.
Here, this is from all of us. Thanks again.
Now we move on to a genre. The first time I played Wolfenstein and the demo on floppy disk, which was Doom. This blew me away at the time, somewhere around 1993. I've watched the genre grow and spread its wings into many subgenres. I saw games like Disruptor, Quake, Unreal, Dark Forces, as they grew into Quake 3, Unreal Tournament and Star Wars Battlefront. No, not that version, the older one. With reboots along the way, Doom and Wolfenstein are new games for us to enjoy. Bulletstorm, Alien Isolation and Bioshock. We have not gotten this far without some casualties. We salute you, Quake and Unreal. Whilst we've had some duds, we've even had first person without real weapons, you know, the ability to shoot, maim or kill. So I thought it's about time we celebrate the ones that have really entertained this generation. So without further ado,
now you two bloody listen to me, alright? One fine day, the seaboys come running into the regimental HQ, saying there's an elephant broke loose. Now, elephants is very gentle creatures most of the time, and they get along.
starting off with my number 10, Alien Isolation, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2014 and was developed by Creative Assembly. Surprise, shock, horror, Alien Isolation is number 10. This is not to say that the game is bad. It has topped many of my top 10s, just that it doesn't quite have enough when compared to the other games on this list. It feels a little lacking in some departments, but it's a damn solid play and one that I enjoy playing every time. The game is set after the original Alien movie and you play as Amanda Ripley, who upon hearing of a flight recorder being recovered from a Nostromo, sets out to find out what happened. Upon reaching the ship, it seems derelict, soon with a familiar alien shape darkening the shadows. With no weapons and damn good AI, all you have is harsh language. This is one that will have you jumping out of your skin.
Fuck!
Moving on to number 9, Prey, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2017 and was developed by Arcane Studios. A game with shape-shifting aliens that isn't called The Thing. It does have a namesake however, but other than aliens and it being first person, it doesn't exactly share a lot in common with the original Prey. The aliens can shapeshift into anything. This makes a seemingly devoid of life room become something a lot more sinister. This took a lot of stick for not being like the original Prey, which I for one was glad it was not. It's its own thing and it does make you jump. The ideas are good. They might not be original, but they are well executed here. I measure a game by enjoyment and this one is quids in. The only unfortunate thing is, it will never likely see a sequel.
Good thinking. You'll be ready ready for a medical emergency. Now, let's get you to the main lobby.
Vital signs critical.
Number 8, Doom, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2016 and was developed by ID Software. A reimagining of the classic. It was a tough choice between this and the original, which came to the PlayStation 4 earlier this year. This is a great looking game. It has been redesigned top to bottom and is kind of fun and intense at the same time, single player and multiplayer. This has a lot to offer to old school gamers and new alike. The graphics are pretty damn good here, with fast movement and fast paced gameplay. It also kept the gore level high. This was from the first Doom game throughout the series. It's part of the franchise, and the violence goes hand in hand with the gore. I'm glad that this came back, as we need a game like Doom after a tough day where we just need to straighten a few things out.
Access granted.
Moving on to my number 7, Dishonored Definitive Edition. Came to the PlayStation 4 in 2015 and was developed by Arcane Studios. This has been remastered from the PlayStation 3 version, which still look pretty damn good by the way. This looks another level, and has lost none of the fun or the charm. You play the role of a bodyguard cum assassin in this romp, who stands accused of murder and abduction and is sentenced to death. With a sequel and spin-off, it is now a franchise. You do have to make an ethical choice. Are people going to live or die? Will you take the passive route, or the everyone is going to die in violent, vicious ways? For me, there is only one option. Everyone is going to die. With weapons aplenty and a great story, there is much to keep you happy, and once you get hooked, you will want to play the rest of the series.
Moving no more.
All these rats crawling all over everything.
1, 2, 3, heave!
Attention Dunwall citizens.
Moving on to number 6, The Forest, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2018 and was developed by End Night Games. This is a pretty novel game. You are flying over an island when the plane crashes and your son is abducted by cannibals. It is your job to save your son or build a gazebo. This is a proper survival game where you have to eat and drink. Even psychology comes into the game. If you get injured, you will have to wait until you're strong enough to fight again. With an entertaining single player and better in multiplayer, the cannibals are bad, but the mutants are far worse. It's about building defences, because at some point they will get in and you will need to be able to get away. In time you will have more than one area, one base, but it's a pain being caught out in the moonlight and travelling to the next safe haven. A very underrated game. Number 5, Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition came to the PlayStation 4 in 2017 and was developed by People Can Fly. This game reminds me of the craziness of some of the first person shooters of yesteryear. Time Splitters, Serious Sam, you know the thing. The intro sets the tone for the game ahead. Set in space allows for a strange world that is colourful and not the normal affair. This was such a breath of fresh air when it released for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Just could do with knowing when they're making a sequel. When we started to get those run-of-the-mill first-person shooters, you know, around the advent of PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, for every great game there seemed to be another 50 mediocre to poor games. No, this is not perfect, far from it, but it is fun, and every time I play I'm reminded of how great it really is. So, if you're after a fun little shooter that you didn't put on your download list when it was free on PlayStation Plus, this is just what the doctor ordered. Number 4, Fallout 4 came to the PlayStation 4 in 2015 and was developed by Bethesda. For some people, the earlier games is where love for this franchise was born. For me, it was Fallout 4. With a large open world map, loads of weapons and even building options, this game brought a lot to the table. Maybe not to everyone's taste, for me at least. 700 hours in, I had to drag myself away from the game. For me, it was getting the XO1 armour that really took the game to the next level. Getting enough bottle caps from Sanctuary to cover everything, including making my own ammo. Every weapon was a sniper rifle. Thanks Tom, he told me sniper rifle was everything. And popping heads, he was right. I could play this all day. In the end I had to wean myself off the game. And then they make Fallout 76. What the hell is wrong with you? My number 3, Bioshock Infinite, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2016 and was developed by Rational Games. So this is a hell of a game. The series has shown that not all shooters are the same, that sometimes trying something new, something different, can be a huge success. And with the sequel finally being announced this week, and that you can get the triple pack for the PlayStation 4, but it's this, the third game, that stuck out to me. Whether it's the characterization or the sky rail, the location in the clouds, or maybe the stylistic design, Songbird or Elizabeth, something appeals on some level. This game is pretty much one of a kind. I can't think of a game that is anything like this, other than the other Bioshock games. With the right mix of adventure and shooting, this certainly earns its spot on this list.
It's a kiss. Well, you only live once.
My penultimate entry, Resident Evil 7, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2017 and was developed by Capcom. This was a risky but needed move by Capcom. After Resident Evil 4, they seemed to be slipping down a slippery slope, with boulder punching and then throw everything against the wall and hope that something sticks. our once beloved series was gone. And then instead of sticking with what wasn't working, which seems to be the common trait for most companies, they tried something new. And at the same time, they took the game back in the direction of the original, survival horror. Resident Evil 7 has a first person perspective, add VR and the atmosphere went through the roof. It was back on form. The next release, Resident Evil 2 Remake, carried on with the same great quality. Just looking at Resident Evil 3 trailer. But this was the game that made the series great again. Did I mention the family is just so messed up?
You kill me, and I can come right on back. Yes.
And my number one entry, Far Cry 5, came to the PlayStation 4 in 2018 and was developed by Ubisoft. And no, right, number 10, Alien Isolation, number 1, Far Cry 5. Whilst Alien Isolation is a damn scary game, I feel that I had more fun with Far Cry 5. Anyway, I know this may not be a popular choice. I know for most people, Far Cry 3 is the better game. Instead, it is Far Cry 5, for me, that drew my interest. As I've said before, to me it was the pause for hire. But I liked the story, the characters, and found myself ploughing hours into the game. This drew me in with the atmosphere, but also the world. It felt like a massive open world, and one that was more than worthwhile exploring. The whole idea of a cult that you must take down, set in Hope County. The game begins with the cult, with a stronghold on the community. You start with not a lot, and in time you get stronger and better equipped to take them down. With vehicles and wildlife, a massive open world is your playground. To me, it feels like it ticks all my boxes. So what more can you ask for from a game? And it's done. I hope you all enjoyed this top 10. There is plenty more content like this on my channel. Check it out, and if you would, spread the word. Leave any suggestions down below in the comments. Enjoy your day, one and all. Old School Gamer 1971 signing off.